When you're reading the Aseret Dibros, since I'm trying to gear this towards Noahides, it says that when it talks about honoring your father and your mother, so your days will be lessons upon the land. That's in chapter 20, verse 12 of the Shmos. Um, in the Gemara and the Talmud, it gives an example of somebody who honored their parents. And what the situation was, it's from a man, a Gentile. His name was Dama ben Nasina. And what happened is they lost one of the stones that was worn by the ephod by the Kohen Gadol, and they needed to buy it, and he had one. However, what happened his father was sleeping, and whether his father was sleeping on the key or on the stone, whatever it is, they went to him and they wanted to buy it, and he said to him, "No, I don't want to wake up my father." So he didn't wake him up, and he ended up really losing out on the sale. He lost a lot of money. A year later, what happened was they needed what's called a red heifer, a para aduma, um, it happened to be in David and Nasina's herd. A paraduma was born because it had it can't have any. It only has to have red hair. It can special very specific specifications. So we wanted to buy it. So sure enough, they said whatever you want to do, and they buy it from him. And then so the question asked is this is like such a funny story when we're talking about honoring the parents. Here he didn't he didn't wake up his father to get the mitzvah of honoring the parents. But then, how does he get rewarded? He gets more or less the same amount of money, but he gets a red heifer. A red heifer is one of those laws that we don't have any understanding about. So what's the connection? Because the rabbis wanted to explain to us, to tell everybody, that there's in Judaism, there's different types of laws. There are some laws that we understand. There's some laws that we just do, to really testify that God exists, and then there's some laws that we just have no rationale for them. So when it comes to honoring your parents, that's a very rational thing. People would know to honor their parents. Your parents did so much for you. So all the people in the world would realize, okay, that's what we're supposed to do. But as opposed to the paraduma, that's the one that they want to give an example of a law that we really don't understand why we do it. It doesn't really make sense to us. It's very confusing. King Solomon wasn't able to understand it. So why did he get rewarded with that one? Because they the rabbis wanted to show that even though we think that the reason is to honor our parents is that it makes so much sense and things like that, really, why do we honor parents? Because God commanded us to honor our parents. It's a law in the Torah. It helps us get closer to God. It benefits us. It benefits society. It benefits the world. It benefits everybody. The same thing with all the other laws in the Torah, all the other laws that make no sense to us that are called chukim, that they're irrational, even though right now we don't understand it, but we know by doing them, we do get closer to God in some way. We do get closer to other people. We do get closer to it. So the rabbis wanted to teach that lesson. And specifically, they did that with the non-Jew to show that it doesn't have to do not Jew or non-Jew. That whoever it is, we all want to strive to get closer to Hashem. And the closer to Hashem, the better off we. Our purpose, that's the goal. That's the goal of creation. That's the connection that we want to forge.